Now, In Bundoran is a reality documentary that depicts one man's adventure to become a master surfer on Ireland's northwest coast. Pierre van der Meulen is here to tell us about his progression from learning the basics to surfing the ultimate waves. Also joining us, our Pierre surfing instructor Killian and the producer of In Bundoran, Shane Smith. Thank you, gentlemen. You're all very welcome. Thanks for coming along this morning. I noticed the similarities in Bundoran and obviously in Bruges. The famous square there is depicted with Killian wandering around, and I tell you, you got some queer looks, as we say here in Ireland. Why is this production come about? What's the purpose of it?
Well, we wanted to promote Bundoran in Donegal as a premier surfing destination because we have some of the best waves in the country, and we wanted to do it in a kind of a fun kind of a way, and we thought video would be a good way, and there's all sorts of promotional videos for surfing, and we wanted to do something different, and literally Pierre kind of came out of the blue, and we were like, here's a nice little twist. We could follow this guy and see how he gets on, and which is what we've done, and we've turned it into a 6-part series. And
it's going to run on the school's website.
Yeah, and on inbundoran.com as well. So we've that set up. It's going to go live from tomorrow. So the first episode will go on air from tomorrow, and it'll be one per week, and then it'll end off with a making of.
Oh, it's quite a production, this. I mean, who funded it and who put it together? Did you do it yourselves?
There's not much funding to it. We kind of dragged a lot of people into it, just kind of professional camera people that we know, and between ourselves, we've kind of worked it all out ourselves, and kind of very low shoestring kind of budget.
Okay. And Pierre, just bring you before Killian, your instructor. This urge to surf and this link to Bundoran, how did that come about?
It came about just like I was searching for an internship to do for my studies, and I applied to Turf and Surf because I wanted to do it abroad from Belgium to learn English, and I found Turf and Surf by the web, so I just sent them a mail to know if it was possible to do an internship there.
Well, I hear we're seeing on screen the opening pictures of the documentary there when you're wandering around that famous square in your surfboard asking people for help, it looks like. Shane, tell us about the idea. Obviously, you had to start. That was a great starting point.
Well, yeah, it was. The whole thing was Belgium, so we thought in Bruges. Well, it'll be a good little twist or whatever. We got Pierre on the phone after Killian had arranged all the stuff with him, and we were like, "Have you ever seen the movie In Bruges?" He was like, "No." So we said, "Right, we'll go and watch the movie In Bruges and come back to us." So we did, and he said, "Right, we want to follow you, but we want you to dress up in a wetsuit and film yourself in Bruges." And let us see it. So he did that. Like, fair play to him, before he'd ever met myself or Killian, and we explained what we wanted to do, and he thought it was a great idea. And luckily enough, he was game for a laugh, and we've pretty much had him in a wetsuit and carrying that a yellow surfboard pretty much right around the country in a lot of places. We did one of the episodes that we did is a road trip. We had 3 days up the Donegal coast and the northern coast, and we had him on the Giant's Causeway, on the Carrick-a-Reader Up Bridge, walking through the walls of Derry. So lots and lots of...
OK, and people can tune to that. We'll give you the website details in a couple of minutes. Killian, teaching and getting him used to the surfboard and the water. I mean, surfing off the coast, say, of Australia, and surfing maybe in California, very different in terms of the water and the temperatures.
It's not a patch on Bundoran. So. I had a relatively easy job with Pierre. He was very athletic. When he arrived, he does a lot of sports, other sports, before he ever came to Bundoran. So I had a relatively easy job to teach him the basics. The basics of surfing are easy enough to learn, especially if you're doing it intensively like Pierre was. And
how long did it take you to get him up to speed?
Well, within 1 week he was catching waves and riding the white water, as we're about to see here.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Or trying to anyway. And within like 2 or 3 weeks he was consistently catching waves and standing up. There's a big difference between catching small waves and standing up on the board to where we were trying to get Pierre at the end of this.
So riding the cylinder, isn't that the...
Well, yeah, riding the shoulder of the wave.
Yeah.
And we brought him out just there a week ago. We finished it off and we brought him out on the Peak in Bundoran, which is one of the most famous waves in Europe. And it's right in the middle of Bundoran, and it's a challenging wave, to say the least, and that was our goal for the 5 months, to bring him up to to speed that he can actually catch a wave like this, and he did it.
Now, we know that the Northwest has been suffering, like every other area, with lack of tourists or shortfall of tourists, and it's been going on for quite a while, no direct rail link and all that sort of stuff. So this is a wonderful film for the tourist board, not only in Bundoran but Donegal, and I'm sure they'll be very pleased with what's happening. In terms of your business, it's also designed to help your business. For somebody who's watching at the moment who has an interest in surfing and wants to learn, how many weekends do you think they'd need to spend, or do you do a week-long course, or how does it work?
Well, I mean, it depends on the person. You know, I would say one of the best students we ever had was a Polish ballerina. She was only 15. She'd never seen the ocean before she came to Ireland, and her first wave, she popped up and turned around and waved to me and rode it on in.
All right, we're going to leave it there. The website details on screen. Pierre loves it so much, you're staying on and you're working at the lodge, and you can be found regularly sipping a Guinness at Madden's Bridge Bar as well. Our spies tell us. All right. Well, good luck with it, and thank you very much for joining us this morning. Thanks indeed, guys.